Hello everyone. As you guys know, this is Maren. If after the class you want to unmute yourself, you can if you have questions or concerns. But for right now, I've muted everybody. And the music for today is under my Spotify, Maren Leah, Marenleah. And I'm going with Route 5. It's called Route, ROOT, number 5. It's instrumental. If you would prefer pop music or any other type of music, go for it. There are lots of playlists that are available to the public on my Spotify, so there's lots of stuff to choose from. But I'm going to go with nice, relaxing music. This is going to be a Vinyasa Flow class. We start off a little bit fast, getting the heart rate up. And we ease into that quickness. And then as the class progresses, we're going to do a little bit of a standing series, a little bit of a triangle series based in Ashtanga. Ashtanga's been around for at least 100 years, so it's an amazing practice, especially in my opinion, for agility, hamstring flexibility, and it's a well thought out series. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, but it's worth checking out if you can ever get to an Ashtanga class. They run a good 75 minutes. Sometimes I teach an Ashtanga class that's just an hour. It's considered a short series. But anyway, so we're going to count down from 3. I'll pause after 1 and then we press play so we're on the same page if you want this playlist. And then after that, we will begin in child's pose. So, ready to go. 3, 2, 1, play. And Faith's Hymn is that first song there, in case you were feeling a little bit lost. Let me get the sound down. And come to child's pose. Knees out wide. Big toes to touch in the back, and your chest and belly sinking down between your knees. Let your forehead come down and just start to settle in. Just arrive on your mat. There's a quote that says something like, your candle doesn't go out when you light others. It doesn't dim. It doesn't diminish your flame by helping others. Think about that today throughout class, maybe after class, how you can bring that into your life. Taking care of other people, building them up rather than tearing them down. You don't lose anything. Truthfully, it only makes you stronger. Start to feel your breath deepen here. Feel your inhales expand your ribs, almost separating them. And then feel your exhales, drop your chest closer to the floor. Maybe your butt sits back closer towards your heels. Let's take a few deep, full breaths together right here. Inhale deeply through your nose. Open your mouth, let it go. One more. Inhale deeply through your nose. And part your lips, let it go. Now gently close those lips together. Start to ignite your Ujjayi Pranayama breath, breathing in and out through your nose, constricting the back of your throat as that air goes in and comes out. It should sound like the ocean, or you're fogging up a mirror but with your mouth closed. Keep this Ujjayi breath with you throughout the entire class, because truthfully, this is a breathing class. The rest is less important. With your next inhale, walk your hands in towards your body. Come up onto all fours. Your shoulders over your wrists, your hips over your knees, flat back. Inhale, drop your belly, spread your chest, look up, cow pose. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, cat pose. One more. Inhale, arch your back, spread your chest, look up. Exhale, push your spine up towards the ceiling, cat pose. Now come to a neutral spine, a flat back. Plant your left palm in front of your face. Maybe you separate your knees a little bit more. Inhale, your right arm reaches up. Your chest is turning to the right. Exhale, thread the needle. Your right arm comes underneath your left arm. And then maybe you wrap your left arm behind your back, or your left fingertips can reach towards the front of your mat, taking a good full body twist. Slowly walk your left palm in front of your face. Push into the mat to lift back up. Inhale, right fingertips reach, look up. And then exhale, set it back down on the mat underneath your face. Inhale, left arm reaches. And then exhale, thread the needle, left arm comes underneath. Any variation you want with that right arm. It's okay if your right side feels different from your left side. That's totally normal. We are not symmetrical beings. Slowly bring that right palm in front of your face. Press into the mat. Inhale, left arm reaches, look up. And then exhale, left hand comes down on the mat. Just sway your hips side to side for a moment, stretching out the outsides of your glutes, maybe your hips a little bit. Tuck your toes under, coming to stillness. Walk your hands out, just another handprint. Inhale, lift your knees up towards the sky. Your hips go up and back, right into downward facing dog. Start to walk out your feet here a little bit. Bend into a knee one by one, connecting to your hamstrings. Your head hangs loose. Deep, full breaths. Inhale, come up high on your toes. Exhale, heels down towards the mat. Inhale, come up high on your toes. Now with your exhale, look between your hands and tiptoe your way up to the top of your mat. Once you get there, step your feet 2 fists distance apart. Grab your elbows, sway side to side. Shake your head yes. Shake your head no. Maybe you interlace your fingertips behind your head, letting the weight of your upper body pull the crown of your head down towards the floor. Exhale, let your hands come down. Inhale, halfway lift, flatten your back, prepare your spine. Exhale, forward fold, a little bit deeper this time. Inhale, roll up to standing light, bend in your knees, head comes up last, then reach your arms up, look up. Exhale, your hands come to heart center, soften your gaze or close your eyes, and just set your intention for this beautiful class. What brought you in here today, and what do you want to leave with? It could be a phrase or a word. Whatever it is, it's yours. Take one deep inhale all together. Breathe in. Open your mouth. Let it go. Flutter open your eyes. Inhale. Reach your arms up. Look up. Exhale. Swan dive forward all the way down. Inhale. Halfway lift. Exhale. Your hands come down to the mat. Step back to high plank. Hold that. Squeezing your belly in. Pushing your palms into the floor. Rounding the top of your back towards the ceiling. One more inhale. Exhale, shift forward, elbows come in towards your body, come all the way down onto your back. With your inhale, now untuck your toes, tops of your feet come down. Inhale, lift your chest. Little to no weight in your palms, so you're really using your back muscles. Exhale, let your forehead come down. One more time, maybe this time you hover your palms. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, forehead comes down. Now walk your hands in towards your lower lip ribs. Inhale, push your palms into the floor. Lift your chest. Maybe you start to squeeze your thighs, lifting them off of the mat, pressing the tops of your feet down into the floor. Upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over your toes, your hips go to the sky. Downward facing dog. Inhale, your right leg lifts high to the sky. Exhale, knee in towards your nose, and then step it through between your hands. Plant your left palm on the inside of your right foot. Inhale, right fingertips reach up. So you're opening up your chest. Pretend there's a wall behind you. So you're lightly leaning backwards. Engaging your thighs, so squeeze them in together. One more inhale. Exhale, right hand comes down. Step your right foot back to meet your left. Vinyasa, so exhale into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, your left leg lifts. Exhale, knee in towards your nose. Inhale, send it back. Exhale. We're just doing double on that side. We'll get to the other side too, don't worry. Right palm plants. Inhale, left fingertips reach up. Dragonfly twist. Couple deep, full breaths here. Remember, you're squeezing your thighs. You're up high on your back toes. Fingertips have energy coming out of them. One more inhale. Exhale, left hand comes down. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Vinyasa. Remember, if I ever suggest a vinyasa and you have had enough, it's okay. You just go right to downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale, right leg lifts. We got to make ourselves even now. Exhale, knee in towards your nose. Inhale, send it back. And then exhale. Now we're going to step it through. Now stay up high on your back toes this time. Inhale, arms reach up. Chest is lifted. Deep bend in your front knee, crescent lunge. So if you need to keep a deep bend in that back knee, you can, especially if you have hip tightness, especially that left hip. That's your psoas muscles. Try to lengthen here. So you want to feel that lengthening. Deep, full breaths. One more inhale. Exhale, bring that back heel down. Wind your arms down to a T, warrior two. So your shoulders are stacked on top of your hips. Deep bend in that front knee. Now notice if your right knee is pulling in. Try to press it out and push down onto the pinky side of your back foot so your back leg is engaged. One more inhale. Create space. Maybe you start to hinge. And then exhale, right forearm comes down to the inside of your right thigh. And left arm reaches up overhead like a swim stroke, extended side angle. Now you can bring your right palm down on the inside or the outside. No matter what position, think about winding your chest upwards towards the ceiling. And breathe. Maybe you try a half bind or a full bind. If you have a bind, release. Inhale, lift your right palm up right into peaceful warrior. Keep that deep bend in your front knee. And then look up at your right hand. So you're really getting a side body stretch here. One more inhale. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to frame out your right foot. Vinyasa any way you'd like. You can handstand, chin stand, or go right back to downward dog. Inhale, your left leg lifts. Exhale, knee in towards your nose and step it through because we're already even on the right and the left. Now you could separate your feet towards the sides of your mat for extra stability. Inhale, arms reach up, crescent lunge. Deep bend in that front knee. That elongation feeling in your right hip. Again, you're pressing your left knee towards the left. So you're opening up that hip a little bit. Notice if it's pulling in.
One more inhale. Exhale, wind your back heel down, warrior two. Your shoulders over your hips. So notice if you're like this, and then pull it back. Engage your core. Look over your left fingertips, and then sink down into that lunge just a little bit more. One inhale, start to create space, and then exhale, that extended side angle pose. Any variation that works for you. Maybe you try that half bind. You can try a full bind. Inhale. Exhale. Release the binds. Inhale. You have your peaceful warrior. So your back hand can be back all the way down your back leg, or maybe you have that half bind still. Think about, instead of a back bend, it's a side bend. You're elongating here. One more inhale. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to frame out your back foot, your front foot. Your back foot comes up on the toes. Step it back any way you'd like in Vinyasa. Beautiful. We're going to take that sequence 2 times on each foot, 1 breath to 1 movement. So come back to that Ujjayi breath. If you need to go a little bit faster, you can. If you need to go a little bit slower, you can do that too. This is your practice. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee in towards your nose, step it through. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, space. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, hands come down, step it back, Vinyasa. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step. Inhale, reach. Exhale, root that back foot down. Inhale, space. Exhale, extended. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Reach. Exhale, hands come down. Any way you want, Vinyasa. Inhale, right leg lifts. See, we're building heat. Step it through with your exhale. Inhale, reach. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, extended. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hands come down, Vinyasa. Inhale, left leg. Exhale, plant it. Inhale, reach. Exhale, plant that back foot. Inhale, extend. Exhale, right into that extended side warrior. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hands come down. Vinyasa. And deep breaths right here in this downward facing dog. Maybe you shake your head yes. Shake it no. You're pressing the floor away from you, hollowing out your armpits. Inhale, come up high on your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, step or jump towards the top of your mat. Land softly. Beautiful. Now, feet are about 2 fist distance apart again. With your inhale, peel your feet up. You can keep a deep bend in your knees. And then slide your palms underneath your feet, coming into gorilla pose. Inhale, take a halfway lift, so you're preparing your spine a little bit. And then exhale, fold, elbows splay out towards the sides. You're reaching the crown of your head down towards the floor. Next, inhale, take that halfway lift and then peel up your toes so the weight shifts back towards your heels and release your palms. Exhale, hands come to your hips. Inhale, slowly stand up. Beautiful. Let's just take a couple shoulder rolls. So palms are at your sides. Inhale, reach your arms up, look up. And now exhale, start to bend into your knees. So walk your feet a little bit closer together if that serves you. Some people like a wider base for their chair pose. And then sit back really low. So your chest is lifted. Deep bend in your knees, like there's a kindergarten chair behind you. And all your weight is back towards your heels. Deep, full breaths. Maybe you get a little lower. Maybe a little lower. Chest is still lifting. That shaking is good. You're getting strong. Inhale, slowly stand back up. Beautiful. Now bring your arms down so they're parallel to the floor. Inhale, come up high on your toes. So focus on one tiny little spot that's not moving, and then try the chair pose that way. So you're high up on your toes, your butt is sitting back. If you want to work on your balance, especially on your toes, so your foot strength, let your tush come all the way down. It's less engagement in the muscles in your thighs, but it's actually better for your feet. All your weight is in your toes here. And then slowly, maybe you lift up, engage, get your butt up just a little bit. One more inhale, one more exhale. Inhale, start to stand up, stay on your toes. Exhale, hands come to your heart, let your heels come down. Woo, that was a good one, beautiful. So inhale, we're going to wrap your right arm underneath your left arm. So it looks like this. Now if this is too much in your shoulders, you can just grab your shoulders like this. If that's too much, grab like this. There's no shame in any kind of modification here. So slowly start to bend into your knees. Bring weight into your left foot. Inhale, your right knee starts to lift. There's a deep bend in your left knee. And then wrap it around, coming into full eagle. Yep, your right arm is underneath, and your right leg is wrapped on top. Sink down low. If you'd like to try sleeping eagle, maybe you hinge forward. Inhale, start to lift back up. Lift your knee up, reach your arms up, and then exhale, release it down. Woo! You're gonna feel that in your standing leg. Actually, probably both legs right now, right? Beautiful. So now we have the other leg. So just now your left leg was on top. This time your right leg is going to be on top. Opposite. See, I'm trying to mirror you here. So you're going to bring all the weight into your other foot, which is going to be your right foot. Start to bend. And then this time your left arm comes underneath and sit down really low. If you want to try that sleeping eagle, hinge forward. Squeezing your thighs together really helps. Inhale, slowly start to lift back up. And then release. Reach your arms up. Your left knee comes in. Exhale, set it back down on the mat. Close your eyes just for a moment. Thumb knuckles pressed against your chest. Feel your heart beating really fast here. Now use your breath to slow it down. Awesome. Now you're going to start to root your right foot into the mat and come up on your left toes. Swing your left knee out. We're going to come into tree pose. So your foot can stay just like this if that's enough for you. Maybe it comes in towards your thigh. You can try that half lotus leg right there. And if you want to grow your branches, go for it. Any variation you want with your hands, they can stay at heart center. All of these balancing poses are so good for us. Maybe your gaze shifts and you look up. Maybe you even close your eyes. You're strengthening your foot, all of those bones, those muscles in your feet. And then when you're ready, inhale, lift the knee up, exhale, release. Now we're switching feet.
So it's your left foot that's standing, rooting down. Swing your right knee out towards the side, and then lift it up. Go into any variation you'd like right there for tree pose. Maybe you try something new with your hands, even a mudra. You do you. And I urge you to try to shift your gaze. That's the hard part. Even side to side. Works your balance. Next, inhale, bring your hands back to heart center, lift your knee, and then exhale, set it back down at the mat. So you're still at the top of your mat. Inhale, start to bring your weight into your left foot. We're gonna step our right foot all the way back towards the back of your mat and come into a triangle, kind of getting ready for triangle. So this is getting ready for a wide leg forward fold first. Your toes are pointed towards the long edge of the mat. Think star pose, but bring your arms down to a T. Now reach your hands back behind you, interlace your fingers. Inhale, lift your chest up, create space. And then exhale, start to hinge forward as you wind your shoulders over your head. Right into a deep stretch here. You've got a shoulder stretch and a hamstring stretch in this wide leg forward fold. Beautiful, guys. If you have a headstand practice in your practice right now, now is the perfect time. That means bringing your head down to the mat, bringing your hands in front of you so that you can see your palms, but it's at a triangle. It's a triangle shape. Now make sure you're on the very top of your head. And if you want to press up into a handstand, you can. If you want to try one knee at a time into the headstand, go for it. You could try to pop up into crow. Woo! That's a tricky one. Awesome. If you are inverted, slowly start to bring your legs back down towards the floor. Legs are out wide. Walk your hands underneath your shoulders. And then with your exhale, bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, slowly start to lift back up. Now turn your right toes towards the back of your mat. You might want to step your back foot in just a little bit if you prefer a shorter stance for triangle. Arms come out to a T. Kick your left hip out just a little bit as you hinge forward. Right fingertips come down. Left fingertips reach up right into that triangle, Trikonasana. Now, an Ashtangi way to do it is you grab your big toes with your peace sign fingers here. You can also bring your palm behind your legs so you can really use that leverage to open up your chest. But again, that's only if you can keep the extension here. If you're rounding down, just bring your hand to your knee. You could even do it like this, a little supported. Engage your belly, so your belly's up and in. One more inhale. Exhale, look down at your right foot. Inhale, come back up to that T shape. Now switch out your feet. Left toes turn. Right hip kicks out. Exhale, left hand comes down. Right fingertips reach up. Trikonasana pose, triangle pose. There's energy in your fingertips up at the top, like a tug of war happening between your hands. So you feel the pulling in each direction. That's one of those cool things about yoga. We're rooting down. Think about it. Our feet are rooting. Sometimes our bottom hand is rooting. And then we're also lifting up at the same time towards the ceiling. It's that duality. One more inhale. Exhale, look down. Inhale, come back up to a T pose. And we're going to step our back foot, our right foot, up to meet our left at the top of your mat. Now step your left foot back, so we're switching out feet, but only about 2.5 feet or so in between your feet. Now your left back foot is at an angle. Right toes are pointing straight ahead. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, lift your chest, and then exhale, hinge forward into pyramid pose. You get halfway. If that's enough for you, you can stay right there. Or one more inhale. Exhale, release down. Notice if you're locking out that knee joint. Try to keep a micro bend in your knee.
Now your hands can come to the mat if that helps support you, or maybe you walk your hands back towards your back foot. Getting deep into that hamstring. Think about pulling your right hip back a little bit as you're pressing your left hip forward. That'll kind of align your hips towards the front of your mat. Now inhale, take a halfway lift. Exhale, plant your left palm. If you need a block for this, that's awesome. You can grab one and put it underneath your left hand. If you need a little bit more, wind your left hand, plant it on the outside, so towards the pinky side of your right foot. And then bring your right hand to your hip. With your inhale, start to wind up and then extend your right arm long. So this is a revolved triangle pose. You're gonna really feel that on the outside of your right thigh, your IT band. One more inhale, look up. Exhale, look down, bring your hands to your hips. We're gonna bring all of our weight into our right foot. As you start to hinge forward, lift your back leg up, right into warrior three legs. Now you can come into airplane where you're squeezing your shoulder blades together, or maybe you're reaching your arms out in front of you. Try to get that back heel up high. Maybe your hands stay at heart center. You do you here. But focus on one tiny little spot, not moving. And then inhale, slowly start to lift your left knee up. Exhale, release it down towards the mat. Hey, if you fall out of it, it's okay. You come right back into it. Now step your right foot back about 2.5 feet, 2 feet away from each other. Hands come to your hips. Inhale, lift your chest. And then exhale, hinge forward. Get halfway. Notice if you need a little bit more. One more inhale. And then exhale, if you do, release down. Anywhere you want to put your hands. You can even grab your hands, interlace your fingertips behind you, and wind your shoulder blades. Wind your arms over your head. Tucking your chin in just a little bit. With your next inhale, take a half lift. Now bring your right palm to the inside of your left foot. Remember, we're coming into that revolved triangle. Your left hand comes to your left hip. If you want more, you just bring your palm to the outside of your right foot. You might have to readjust your feet. And then inhale. Start to lift your left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Yep, make sure that you really feel that in your IT band. And not too much. You don't want to hurt yourself. So go to your own limit. One more inhale. Exhale, look down. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, slowly start to lift back up. Start to hinge forward, bringing your weight into your left foot. Remember, it could take you a few steps. Maybe you've got to step that back foot in a little bit. It's okay. Lean forward, kick that back leg up. Right into warrior three. Notice if you kind of want to come into a half moon, that means turning your hips towards the right. Try not to. Try to press that right hip down. Engaging your right glute so you get that heel up really high. Any variation with your hands. Inhale, slowly start to lift your knee back up as you stand up. And then exhale, set it back down on the mat. We'll do one more balancing pose right now. So, start to bring your weight into your right foot. Now reach your left hand down and bend your knee, grab for that foot. We're gonna come into dancer's pose. So with your inhale, reach your right arm up and then start to hinge forward as you push the top of your foot into your hand. Coming into that dancer's pose. Notice if your right hip wants to pull up, try to press it down. but at the same time, kick your back leg up. It looks like this from this side. And then inhale, release, bring your knee up. Exhale, set it back down. Take a few deep breaths. Now you're gonna root, this time, your left foot down into the mat. Bring your right hand back behind you, grab for your foot as you bend into that knee. And then reach your left arm up. Start to hinge forward into that dancer's pose. Think of it almost like a seesaw. Like as you're kicking back, you're reaching forward. Deep full breaths. You'll feel that in your back muscles. One more inhale. Exhale, slowly start to release. Bring your knee in. And then exhale. Release it down. Woo! Inhale, reach your arms up, look up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Come up high on your toes and sit your bum back towards your heels. Walk your hands away, coming into toe stand. If you want to work your balance a little bit and you didn't do it before, maybe you did and you want to do more, bring your hands to heart center. You'll feel that shaking, that wobbling. That's okay. When are we actually balanced, right? There's always back and forth, give and take. Here's another perfect opportunity for a crow pose. So bring your hands to the mat or stay where you are, working on your toe stand. Your hands can be down during toe stand. So you're really getting the benefit in the back of your feet, the bottoms of your feet. So start to bend into your elbows. Your knees are up towards your elbows, towards your armpits, and then get your hips up really high. Shift your weight forward, look in front of you, so not straight down. And then maybe one toe comes up, maybe both come up. And breathe. If you want to shoot it back and take a vinyasa, you can, or stay right where you are. You can bring your feet right down and come to a seat. Beautiful. Oh yeah, those are some good crows. Awesome. So if you came down to a seat, just step it back right to downward facing dog, or you can stay in that seat and then slowly start to lean back. So if you're in downward facing dog, step or jump through to a seat. Awesome. And then start to lean back. You're engaging your belly muscles. Everybody should be seated. Chest is lifted and then feet lift up, Navasana, boat pose. So try to engage your feet, lean back, open up your chest. Your knees can be bent if you prefer, grabbing for the insides behind your knees. But make sure your chest is lifted and look up. Exhale, low boat. So core strength is so important. Get those shoulder blades up, feet are lifted up off of the floor. Inhale, back up to high boat. Navasana. Beautiful. Bring your knees in. Slowly roll back and forth the length of your mat. And then once your feet touch, you can step back to downward dog or take a vinyasa. That was a loud one. Awesome. Slowly roll forward into a plank. Hold that here, pushing your palms down, squeezing your belly in, and then as slow as you can, bend your elbows in and go all the way down onto your belly. Untuck your toes. Awesome. Now reach your palms back behind you, plant them down on the mat, and just come to one cheek for a moment. Feel your heart beating into the mat. And bring your chin to the mat. Keeping your palms back behind you. With your inhale, lift your legs up and then lift your chest up. Coming into locust pose. So you're squeezing your shoulder blades together. And then try not to crane your neck. So create length in the back of your neck here. You look down slightly, but ahead of you. One more inhale. Exhale, release down. Maybe you try the other cheek this time. Bring your chin back to center. You can do one more locust pose just like that, or if you want to bend into your knees, reach back behind you, grab for your feet. We're coming into bow pose. So again, you can stay where you were, do the same thing again with your inhale, lift, or bow pose. Inhale, push the tops of your feet into your hand and lift. Now, you can also flex your feet. Notice how that changes the shape a little bit. Maybe how you get a better chest opener. So you do you here, but think about squeezing your knees together. Notice if your knees are wide. Try to pull them together. And look up. One more inhale. Exhale, release your belly down towards the floor. And then start to sway your legs, windshield wipering your legs side to side, releasing your lower back. Awesome. Let your feet come down towards the floor. Tuck your toes under. Bring your palms beside your ribs. Inhale up to high plank. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, come up high on your toes. Exhale, bend your knees. We're jumping or stepping through to a seat. So we're back where we started. Awesome. This time, bring your feet to the mat. Slowly start to roll down onto your back. Palms face down. Walk your feet in towards your hips. Now with your next inhale, lift your hips up into bridge pose. You can interlace your fingers under your back, pressing your feet into the floor, lifting up your hips. Maybe a light squeeze with your thighs so that they're still hip distance apart. You can also play with lifting one leg at a time, lifting the other leg. And then exhale, release down onto your back. Before bringing your knees into your chest, just stay here for a moment. You can even rock your knees a little side to side. We have one more back bend. If you have full wheel in your practice and want to take that, you can. Otherwise, we'll just do one more bridge pose. So if you're doing full wheel, you bring your hands up next to your ears. You push your feet into the floor and lift. If you're in bridge pose, do exactly what we just did. Inhale up. Press your chest through your arms if you're in full wheel. One more inhale. And then exhale, tuck your chin lower down onto the floor. Everyone lower down. Beautiful. Now bring your knees in towards your chest. You might have to readjust back onto the mat. This time give yourself a squeeze. Rock side to side. And from right here, release your left leg down onto the mat. So you're keeping your right knee in towards your chest. And then using your left hand, guide your knee across your chest, across your body, and then open your right arm long. Turn your head towards your right hand, supine twist. Where can you melt your shoulders down a little bit more? Where can you surrender? So important to take deep twists every single day for spine health and organ function. You're doing your body good. If you need a block under your right knee, you can take it, or a pillow. Inhale, bring your right knee in towards your chest, give it a squeeze. And then exhale, set it down on the mat. Inhale, your left knee comes in, squeeze. And then exhale, guide it across your body. Supine twist. Turn your head towards the left and let yourself just settle in. Slowly roll back onto your back. Bring your left knee in towards your body, squeeze it. And then exhale, set it long on the mat. Bring your knees in towards your chest again. Now, for those of you who want to take pigeon on your back, I'll guide you that way. If you would like to take pigeon towards your belly, you can do that now. So, bring your left foot down. You're going to hook your right ankle on the top of your left thigh. Bring your right arm in between your legs, your left arm on the outside of your thigh, and then pull your legs in towards your body. Use your right elbow to open up your hip. If you would prefer to take pigeon, you can rock and roll up onto your feet. You can step back to downward dog or take a vinyasa. With your inhale, your right leg lifts. And then exhale, swing your right foot behind your left wrist. And then let your hips sink all the way down. Your right knee is behind your right wrist. With your inhale, walk your hands in, lift your chest. And then exhale, settle down into that half pigeon. So no matter where you are, just make sure you feel that on the outside of your right hip. Where can you soften? Where can you let go? These yin poses are a perfect complement to the yang, or yang as most people say. Yang poses are where we use a lot of muscle engagement. Here, you're taking deep stretching, less engagement, slowing the heart, slowing your breath. For those of you on your back, release your hands. Let your left foot come down and unravel your right leg. And we're going to switch sides, so your left foot comes over. If you are taking pigeon on your belly, bring your palms into the mat, come into a downward dog, and then take the left side. If you're on your back, your left arm comes in between your legs. And right hand comes on the outside, pulling your thigh closer towards your body, opening up your left hip here using your elbow. You can even use your hand by pressing your left knee away from you. you are in pigeon facing down, start to come out of it. Come back to downward dog. Any release you need for your hips. Everybody on your back, let your right foot come down, and then let your left foot come down. Now bring your knees up towards your chest. If you're in downward dog, make your way all the way back down onto your back. And then grab the outsides of your feet, coming into happy baby. Start to rock side to side here. So we're opening up our hips just a little bit more, massaging our lower backs. Think about all of those poses, especially when you're on your back, taking that figure four, or even in regular half pigeon. It's like a garden hose that's been kinked, right? So there's less blood flow in this flexion right here and in the flexion we had before. And then once we release it, feel the blood flow rushing back to those large joints, your hip joints. When you're ready, release your feet, bring your knees in towards your chest, bring your forehead up towards your knees, give everything a squeeze so we have more flexion, more kinking, more compression. Every muscle tenses. One more inhale. Exhale, release everything down. You've made it to Shavasana. Feel the blood rushing in towards your hips. Open up your arms away from your body at your sides, palms up to receive the energy of the room, or palms down to ground you. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. Let your feet flop to the sides. And take this complete rest, this Shavasana. I will guide you out when it is time.
slowly start to bring some awareness back into the room. Before you move, just notice how different you feel from when you started this practice. What feels softer? What feels more relaxed? Maybe what feels warmer or cooler? Feel the weight of your body pressing down into the floor. And then notice the air on your skin. Notice the sounds around you. Start to wiggle your fingers. Wiggle your toes. Take any movements that your body is craving right now. And inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Point your toes towards the front of the mat. Take a full body stretch. Exhale, bring your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins. Give yourself this moment of gratitude because you showed up today. Maybe you tried something new. Maybe you didn't, but it all just did your body good. So thank yourself. You could have been a million other places for this hour, but you chose to be here. When you're ready, roll onto your right or your left side, whatever side you need right here. It's the side of new beginnings. Maybe you use your bicep as a pillow. Start to think back where you can light somebody else's flame without the fear of losing it yourself. When you're ready, push your way up to a comfortable seat. Eyes stay closed or your gaze softened. Hands come to Anjane Mudra. It means hands at your heart center, thumb knuckles pressed against your sternum. Let's take a deep, full breath together right here. Inhale deeply through your nose. Hold it at the top. Open your mouth and sigh it out. One more, just like that. Inhale deeply through your nose, then hold it at the top. Sip in more air. Sip in more air. Hold it. Open your mouth, let it go. Deep cleansing breath. You are loved, you are brave, and you are enough. The love and light within me honors and respects the love and light within you. And it is with this love and light that we are all connected. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Thanks so much for coming. How does everybody feel? You can unmute whenever you're ready. If you have questions,